Geothermal sites are God's gift to the people living in extreme conditions in the world. Its systematic utilization in power, tourism, district heating, farming, food processing holds key for overall sustainable economic development of these regions. We have seen this in Iceland, Indonesia, and part of the Indian Himalayas, which I'm going to talk about. We have yet to begin tapping this systematic resource for its overall economic and sustainable development. The geothermal sites in the Indian Himalayas are basically located in these regions, in central and higher Himalayas, where we have, this is basically the Indus Sangko-Sutia zone, the point where India collided with China. So maximum concentration of these hot springs are almost on the collision zone, and we have some hot springs here also, but I'll be speaking mostly on the central and the higher Himalayas in the western Himalayas. And in these regions, temperatures in winters drop to more than minus 10 degrees. So almost we have hot springs where we have minus temperatures. The topic is geothermal sites as tourist destinations in Himalayas. This is a good presentation. This is one of the geothermal sites in Chumatang. So in northwestern Himalayas, this is basically the Indo-China border, and we have almost all our hot springs almost on the collision zone to the along the Indus Sangko-Sutia zone. So while we were analyzing, we just realized that the hot springs are mainly in the geology controlled the occurrence of the hot springs. This is basically the Indus Sangko-Sutia, Indus river flowing along the Indus Sutia zone, and on this side we have this metamorphics, and here we have granites. So on the confluence of these two, say on this side we have this small town known as Chumatang, and this is how it is developed along the hot springs. So this is contact, and we have these metamorphic rocks here, and this is the hot area. So this is what might have happened in the past, and still a lot of heating going on, and heating all these basins along the Indus Sutia zone. That is what we believe, So along this, we have a lot of heat still coming up and hitting these sources. Now, hot springs, about estimated MT surveys conducted in these areas. These are again protected areas because a lot of tourists comes, not much development, so they put some polythene and all. So the government did not find anything of developing it, but just protected these hot springs by putting some fences. So estimated surveys show that at anticipated temperatures at 2 to 3 kilometers is about 230 degrees more than that. But on surface temperatures, we find that it is about 70 degrees to less than 100 degrees. So on the surface, most of these hot springs have been concealed below the landslides. So the temperatures which we observe in these this is a hot spring area. So we have a landslide here. These are granites, basically Ladakh battlefield on the Karakoram range on the Indo-Tibetan border. Now on these hot springs have been concealed over the years with these landslides, but still the temperatures here on the surface appears to be around more than 70 degrees. So traditional utilization of these hot springs have been done by these Tibetans and the Ladakhi people in Indian Himalayas, mainly in bathing and medical treatment. Now this is one of the hot springs in Assam. So we have some hot spring here coming up from this pipe, but almost we have these religious ceremonies associated with these hot springs now, and people come here for religious bathing as well as for daily bathing. And no infrastructure facilities in this hot spring. So just a hot spring occurs here, some small pool is made, and then some bathing takes place. Now this is very interesting. Now this is a site almost on the Tibetan border with the Indo-Tibetan border now China. So people, the gases are coming out from the steam is coming out, the gas is coming out, different steams, different gases here. I don't have the chemical composition of these, but people treat and sit with these clothes. They sit in this hot spring cavity, and they sit for about 15 minutes. They have a doctor known as Amchi, and they sit on this with clothes for 10 minutes, and then they go for another cool bath, hot bath, and then they treat all their joints pains, bone pains. So it has been going on for centuries, but due to negligence now borders have been constructed, there is no more a free border, so this science is also dying a natural death. These, now with the army coming up, direct utilization of these water sources have been started, and now with this direct pipeline has been laid, and hot water is being transported, and now for the last 2-3 years for washing and bathing, the army uses this hot springs because this is a very remote area. Now this is again the place where Indus River, this is the border between, this river actually marks the boundary between India and China. This is a place known as Demchok. So when there is a mutual understanding between India and Chinese army, whenever Indian players, they want to take a bath, the Chinese won't come, and when Chinese come, the Indians won't come. So it is an open border here, but they both are using the same hot springs basically. Now, policies of the government, you see, over the years, there is no geothermal policy in our country at present. No research institute dedicated to geothermal studies. Geothermal sites lack basic infrastructure for bathing also, for anything other purpose, Now these hot springs, we have some religious festival associated with it, and then only the people will come, otherwise it's almost neglected. So traditional medicinal therapies, algae associated with the hot springs, this is dying a natural death. We had drilled, experimental drilling was carried out at Uga and Marikan for geothermal power development in 1980s, but I don't know, since then nothing has been done for their development also. So this shows one of the sites at Chumatan again. This is the hot water coming out. We don't have any, bath facilities for women, children, so it's an open area. No proper, this is how the area looks like, but beautiful. I must say anybody who visited this place would see that. Otherwise, this is just like a heaven for a geologist or a tourist with almost average heights above more than 3,500 meters of the mean sea level. So now this is one of the religious festivals in Himachal Pradesh. We had this tourist resort constructed by the government, but there was a flood, and half of the building was washed out. Now this is the only tourist spot, and here you see the people. These are stalls, and then this is how baking takes place. Now if you just see the enlarged view of this, so this is the wall, and the men are bathing here, and women and children, they take bath in this place. It's open, hardly any development from the government point, because I don't think, because they can't visualize what can be done with these resources. It's still, India is such a large country, but I think we are very zero, and we have yet to start exploring this possibility. And after visiting Iceland and other places, I just feel that a lot can be done with these resources. And now we have some dam constructed coming up here, and all these resources will be drowned in near future. We won't find this in another two years time. So present paper highlights uh, in basic infrastructure development to promote religious bathing, and I propose setting up a hospital to protect and prevent, to revive these Alchi and Amchi medicinal treatments associated with hot springs. They have been going on since centuries, very effective, and people, they really believe in it and take 15 to 20 days to get treatment from these hot springs to get cure. Then geotourism, opening of swimming pools, spas, water sports related activities, district heating, power generation, farming, food processing, and a number of possibilities can be worked out. And I plan geothermal cities, based on the geothermal, exclusively on geothermal energy resources, using nothing else other than everything based on the geothermal. Now, need of the hour, again the same thing, that we need basic infrastructure, direct uses. Geothermal power development is 100% required in these areas because most, like my Russian presenter said, it is cut off for 9 months, but this area is cut from the rest of the world for more than 6 months in a year. And all transportation for energy purposes has to be done by transporting diesel from New Delhi or otherwise, and it has to stop for 6 months. And then we use energy only for 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. So it's about 3 hours power generation in that area for the whole day, and that has to be stopped so that the power requirement is met. So if geothermal energy is developed in that area, the potential is more than 200 megawatts. So electricity, a lot of money can be saved on electricity. We don't require any electricity stocking for electricity, meeting the electricity. Hydel power projects, government has spent a lot of money on hydel power projects. But the problem with this, the water freezes in winters and silting makes it unoperational in summers. Geothermal could provide definitely a green and clean energy and make people self-sufficient. This can make people self-sufficient in power and food products, besides giving indirect employment to locals in the vicinity. So geothermal holds the key for actually changing the entire socio-economic conditions of the people also. Now, long-term implications is, again, we need a strong geothermal policy, educate policymakers, because I think policymakers are not educated. They just can't think what can be done with it. They are not geologists, neither they have any knowledge about geothermal resources. But luckily now our energy minister is visiting Iceland, and we hope in near future when he visits Iceland and then sees what can be done with various resources in the Himalayas, because he belongs actually to this same place where I'm making this presentation from. So we anticipate a lot of new activities, a lot of tourism to be promoted. We have about more than about 1 lakh people visiting every year to this place, but nobody stops there for geothermal tourism because they don't have any infrastructure facilities, no place for bath. So maybe and we need a geothermal research institute badly in the Himalayas, just not to promote tourism, not study geothermal, but geotectonics related with the activities from the chemical compositions. We can anticipate a lot of changes taking place in this Indo-Sine-Coastal zone. So we are recommending this, and we are strongly working for setting up of this institute in the Himalayan region. So this is Puga hot spring. This is basically a geyser very near to the Indo-China border again. Known reservoirs, known reserves about more than 200 megawatts. Surface temperatures more than 90 degrees. Discharge from one spring it is about more than 30-40 LPS. And depth of these reservoirs anticipated by MD surveys conducted is about 2 to 3 kilometers. And expected temperatures is more than. So we have the potential. It is not that, and the main thing is, here we don't have, the tariff rates of electricity are very high. So, and army is the main consumer besides the locals. So it can be done, and you will be surprised if you go to Ladakh. Then this is not on the tourist map also, but it's a wonderful site. Nowhere in Himalayas a geyser like this is seen. Yeah, thank you. but that's it. But before we can do anything, these small children have found a new innovative way of utilizing these hot springs. We have a geyser here, so they have a Maggi neutral pack here. Buy from they don't go to the house, just heat it here and they're just eating it. This is the direct utilization, innovation done by the children, and we are still thinking as a government. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, any questions regarding the presentation? We still have more time. Yeah.
Arya, it was a very interesting presentation. I would like to ask some questions, particularly on the Archi and Amchi. What kind of ailments are they treating? Are they specific for certain kind of ailments?
Yes, I think what I generally saw and asked the doctors. So you have a patient and a doctor, Amchi. They call it Amchi, and the treatment is the patient. So the doctor actually they have in the same valley. They go. They have some tents. They don't have any infrastructure facilities, so they did tents. They sit there for about a month, and they have different temperatures, of the hot springs. So mainly with the joint pains, they're treating. It's a cold region, so cold people have joint pains and things like that. So, basically, these Amchi people, they are the doctors of this geomedicinal treatment. So the patient is there, and the doctor Amchi, he will take the patient to and they're basically treating these joint pains, because old people, they have these joint pains, they don't have money for the treatment, I think, because the place, this is about 200 kilometers from the main land. So they are using this traditional medicine very effectively, and they have trust in these Amchis, So the Amchi accompanies them, and they have different temperatures for say 1 day here or 2 days here, then another temperature on the right side with different chemical composition. I think that is coming out from silica or sulfur. So they move shift with different temperatures, and after 1 month, the old man he's rejuvenated, So that's the temperature. I don't think they have any knowledge about the chemical composition in terms of sulfur, silica. If you talk to them, because that will make different. When we are talking to locals, we should not complicate the matters by talking which is the silica, sulfur, borax, or bicarbonates. So if we talk to them in their own language and try to understand, so they will come up with, oh, this has some yellow things, and so this will be like this, and this is something white. So you understand that in your mind that it is sulfur, and then it is borax, so this is silica. And you see that when you see that they are treating more in the sulfur, and then in the borax, and then in the silica, and the temperature difference is also almost. So this medicine treatment, they carried about 3 days this, 3 days 2 days 1, and then the whole treatment, the pains are gone of that old man. But this science has to be rejuvenated, because earlier this exchange from Tibet to China, India was taking place, and then interest was there from Tibetans coming to India. But now with the borders becoming strong after the Olympic Games, due to the Dalai Lama and conflict between the Dalai Lama and Chinese, so this science has to be protected now, and we have to learn a lot from this traditional science and of geothermal use for application directly to solve the old age medical problems, and economically, without any treatment, without any operations, without any knee replacement. We talk about so much investment about. So I have proposed setting up of a medical hospital in these areas, and maybe in the next 5 years when we meet, maybe we have all these implemented in the ground, and we protect this diamond science. Thank you.
Thank you very much. With the end of the presentation by Dr. Arya Ritesh, this ends our session on health, tourism, and balneology. I would like to thank you for your participation and interest on the subject matters.
And during the course, I just realized that God, geothermals are basically God gifts. Geothermal science which we have in
I love this. It's like there is male, there is female. Okay, I record. I zoom.
Oysters are also live.
That's mussel is live.
Okay. You pick it up?
Yeah, of course. The mussel is live. Ada yang hidup nggak? Ada yang njulur nggak?
These are oysters. Oyster. This is mollusks.
Mussel.
Thank you.
This one. Stir.
These are lobsters.
Yep. That is lobster, ocean prawn.
This is prawn.
No, that's lobster.
That's lobster. And
That is prawn.
that is prawn.
Yep. This is snapper. This is barramundi. This is garopa. And then remember, Prada priority.
Prada, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Prada.
डाउन इसकी जल्दी एक्सरे मुझे तुम्हारी भी तो दोनों की एक फोटो खींचनी है मैं बता दूंगी कि क्या क्या ऐसे खींचो नहीं यार प्लीज जल्दी अच्छा ठीक है डॉगी को ठीक करो दीदी दिया के हाँ थोड़ा सा नीचे कर दो दिया के डॉगी को हाँ स्माइल खींच ले खींचती नहीं खींच जाना